quote General Kenobi, hello there. Or should I say, hi, which is a clever acronym for today's episode. My name is Eric Finchler. I am the president of Atlas Credit Consulting, and I welcome you to the Conversations on Credit Knowledge Cast, better known around these parts as the COCcast. What we do every week, we break down a credit topic, 5-6 minutes, try to give you as much information as we can so you can make the best informed decision on what's right for you and yours. You can find us literally everywhere. We're on Facebook, you can check our webpage, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever your cup of tea. That's a lie. We won that war. Around here, whatever your shot of tequila, pretty sure we won a war with them at some point. If we didn't, watch out. Anyways, I'm joking. That's a joke. Ha ha ha. We don't need any more war in this world. That being said, what we do is we release some information, some credit content that is not to be confused with our blog that we put out every Monday, which you should also check out. But just as something, as a tip, just to kind of make sure you're on the right track. This week's tip comes from our episode titled Attack of the Hard Inquiries, to go with the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme from earlier. What is a hard inquiry? Well, first of all, let me tell you what it's not. It's not a soft inquiry. A soft inquiry does not affect your credit score, but you likely have hundreds of them depending on how old you are. Every single time you get a letter in the mail that says you're pre-approved for this or you're pre-approved for that, somebody ran a soft credit check on you to pre-approve you. They bought your information from a company that was selling your information in order to pre-qualify you for the offer they are giving you. Now, if you decide you want to follow through with that offer, you have to sign a form of consent. Anyways, you have to sign a form of consent, at which case they will then give you an official hard inquiry to check your record. A hard inquiry is when a company officially runs your credit to see how worthy you are of them lending you a line of credit. Each hard inquiry you get is going to be somewhere between 2 and 7 points off your score. So you want to kind of watch how many you try to get, not just for that, but because applying for lots of types of credit looks a little suspicious in the eyes of creditors, especially these days with people piling up debt. Chase, for example, has a rule. It's called the 5-2 rule. If you've applied for 5 types of credit in the past 2 years, regardless of your score, they will reject you because they find that suspicious based on their algorithms. Hard inquiries are not going to keep you from getting a home or keep you from doing anything significant, regardless of what people tell you. There's this weird obsession with hard inquiries. They're keeping me down. They're holding me back. No, they're not. Your decisions prior to that are. So keep that in mind. Every hard inquiry you get will stay on your record for 2 years. It's only going to affect you in any way, shape, or form outside of some print on a paper for 1. So don't worry about that. A hard inquiry can look kind of suspicious, so people do think that it affects them negatively, and it does, like I said, but don't focus so much on that. I try to tell people to focus on what's important as opposed to the little fringe things. And if you have a low credit score, hard inquiries, that's just the end of it, not even the beginning of it. So you need to look at your collections, your utilization, things like that. So we've covered what a soft inquiry is. Let's cover what a hard inquiry is. Like I said, the most infamous time that people talk about hard inquiries hurting them is when they go to purchase a vehicle. Car dealerships love to do a shotgun of your credit where you go in, you consent, there's that word again, to apply for a loan, and they shoot your credit out to 10 banks sometimes because they're trying to get you the best rate. What they're actually trying to do is get you approved. They don't want to do it one by one. It takes too much time. I don't care what they say. I've been a part of this game long enough to know I don't trust them, and neither should you. What can you do about this though? Easy. Couple of things. You need to be prepared. The first thing I would do personally is call, if you haven't already, each one of the bureaus, or write them a letter. We'll go online, file what we call a fraud alert. A fraud alert means that they're out there looking for fraud on your part. So anytime somebody tries to run your credit, you will get a call from the bureau. Hey, did you authorize this? You can say yes, you can say no. You see where I'm going with this. When you walk into the when you walk into the car dealership, you say, listen, I authorize you, I consent you to run my credit, but only to one bank at a time. I will decide if I want that rate or if I want my credit ran again. They'll tell you, well, it's not hurting your credit right now. They're right, not right now, because you're allowed to apply for the same type of loan in a 10 to 14 day stretch as many times as you want, with it only being a singular hit to your credit. However, 4 or 5 months down the road, when you have 10 inquiries and you're trying to possibly buy something. I said earlier, it's not going to keep you from it generally, but it will look suspicious while you have so many hard inquiries. So it could absolutely affect you in the long term. So after you tell them that, they'll say, okay, yeah. You say, make sure they understand, because sometimes they don't. But they will run your credit. You will get a call. Did you permit this? Did you authorize this? You will say, yes, I authorized this one, but that is all. If and when somebody tries to run my credit through another bank, please call me back. And at that point, I will decide if I'm going to authorize it or not. Kind of taking the leverage out of the car guy's hands, because let's be honest, if you know car salesmen, you know car salesmen. They may not all be like that, but they're all kind of like that, regardless of what they say. That's going to be the easiest way you can combat that, if you're that worried about it. Like I said, I try to tell people to focus their energy on things that are more important to their score, focus on other areas. There's a famous quote by the late, great Howard Stark. He says, no amount of money is worth a second of time. And for the life of me, I think I misquoted that, because Tony Stark goes back into the past to tell Howard Stark that, who then tells Tony Stark that, who then, that is a paradox that we don't have enough time for. But I hope I was able to teach you a little bit about hard inquiries, if they affect you, how they affect you, why they would affect you. And if you have any more questions, please, you know where to find us. Today, I'm wearing an On Point Pest and Environmental Services shirt. As you can see, I crisscrossed this from the 90s. If you're old enough, then you know, because I didn't like the small logo. If I'm going to promote somebody that I know does a good job, I'm going to make sure it's front and center. They do a good job. We do a good job. They kill a lot of things that pester you. The one thing they cannot kill that pesters you, these little hard inquiries. For that, that's us. We do that. To you, this may be a shot of tequila. To me, this means a job well done, information passed, and I'm glad I was able to help. Once again, my name is Eric Finchler. I am the president of Atlas Credit Consulting, where at Atlas, your credit score may be a number to you, but you are not just a number to us. Until next week, cheers.